If you're a traffic engineer, you know signal timing is, well, it's both an art and a science. But what if we could lean a lot more heavily on the science? What if we had a truly systematic, data-driven process? Well, today we're going to dive into a new framework and a tool set that's designed to do exactly that, to really advance the state of practice.
This quote, it just hits home, doesn't it? Think about it. We've got all this incredible technology, smart controllers, connected vehicles, you name it. And yet, the core workflow, the fundamental way we do signal timing, it often feels like it's stuck in the past. It's a frustration I think we all share, and it really sets the stage for a much-needed change.
And the consequences of these old processes are painfully real. We pour a ton of time and money into traffic counts that are basically outdated the second we collect them. We're juggling countless different files for AM, PM, and off-peak plans, sometimes across different cities. And when drivers complain that a corridor feels terrible, it's a huge challenge to figure out what's actually going wrong out there in the field. And maybe the worst part, the improvements that look great in our software models just don't match the real-world experience for the public.
So that leads us to the big question, right? How do we break out of this cycle? How do we move away from this reactive kind of piecemeal process to something that's systematic, efficient, and truly data-driven from start to finish? Well, the answer starts with having a clear mental model.
And that model is the MODE framework. It stands for managing, optimizing, diagnosing, and evaluating. Now, this isn't just some clever acronym. It's a complete philosophy for signal timing that tackles every single one of those pain points we just talked about. It's a practical path forward, and the WaySync software suite is the tool that's been built from the ground up to bring it to life.
All right, let's start with M for managing, because the foundation of any good system is just solid organization. For decades, signal timing data has been fragmented, siloed. Let's be honest, it's been pretty chaotic. So that's the very first problem we've got to solve.
This slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. On the left, you've got the old way. We've all been there, right? Drowning in a sea of separate synchro files for every single timing plan. If you're trying to manage a whole region, forget about it. It's a nightmare. Now, look at the right. The WaySync way. One single database file. That one little .tiz file holds everything. Multiple agencies, all your corridors, every single timing plan. This is an absolute game changer for managing things on a regional scale and just keeping your data sane.
So once your data is finally managed and under control, let's move on to O for optimizing. This gets to the heart of retiming, but, and this is a big but, it's about breaking our dependency on those expensive, super time-consuming traffic counts.
Now the key here is that WaySync is laser-focused on maximizing progression, that beautiful green wave, without needing brand new volume counts. It done this with some really powerful models. It has bandwidth-based optimization to tweak the phasing and offsets to get the widest possible green bands. It's got cycle-based optimization that can actually search for the sweet spot, the best cycle length for the whole corridor. And for those really long, tricky arterials, it can use partition-based logic to intelligently break them down into smaller chunks that are easier to coordinate effectively. And this is what it's all about. Just look at the result. This is a time-space diagram after optimization. Before, you can see there was basically no progression to speak of. But after WaySync's models do their thing, you get these beautiful, wide, juicy green bands.
Okay, so we've managed our data, we've optimized our plans in the office, but we all know that what's in the computer isn't always what's happening on the street. And that brings us to the next critical step, D for diagnosing, where we finally bridge that gap between the office and the field. And this is WaySync M, the mobile app, and it is a total game changer. Look at this interface. It literally puts the time-space diagram in your hand, in your car. As you drive the corridor, it overlays your car's live GPS track right on top of the diagram. You can even sync it with video. You are literally watching your plan perform or maybe fail in real time.
Now, why is this so huge? Because it lets you instantly nail down the root causes of those super frustrating problems that used to take forever to figure out. Is a controller's clock drifting? You'll see your car miss the green band. Is an offset just flat out coded wrong? It'll be obvious immediately. You can diagnose really complex stuff like the disruptions after an emergency vehicle runs through, or the weird effects of early phase returns. All there, on the spot.
And that brings us to the final, crucial piece of the puzzle, E for evaluating. After all the work is done, how do we actually prove that our new timing plan worked? How do we measure our success objectively and then report it in a way that everybody can understand?
The old way.
Manual floating car runs. They're expensive, they're labor-intensive, and they're almost impossible to scale across your whole network. The WaySync approach flips that on its head. It leverages modern connected vehicle data, so instead of a few test runs, you're getting data from hundreds, maybe even thousands, of real vehicles out on the road. It's scalable, it's objective, and it paints a much richer picture of what's really going on. And it quantifies all of this with a standard metric.
And that metric is called the Corridor Synchronization Performance Index, or CSPI. And this concept is just brilliant. It takes all of that complex performance data, things like how many times cars stop and their travel speed, and it distills it all down into a single, easy-to-understand score on a 100-point scale, complete with A to F letter grades, just like a report card.
And that simple 100-point scale is absolutely key. Now you can definitively say, hey, this corridor was performing at a 75, a C+, and after our retiming, we brought it up to a 92. That's an A. It makes it so easy to rank which corridors need the most help, to justify projects, and to clearly communicate the value of your work to your bosses and to the public.
So when you put it all together, the managing, the optimizing, the diagnosing, and the evaluating, you get something that's more than just another piece of software. You get a complete systematic workflow. You really get a new state of practice.
Let's just walk through the whole workflow one more time. Step 1, you manage all of your data in a single centralized database. Step 2, you optimize your coordination plans to get the best possible progression without needing new counts. Step 3, you get out in the field and diagnose real-world issues with the mobile app. And finally, step 4, you evaluate the before and after performance objectively using connected vehicle data and the CSPI. It's a full-circle process.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. The tools we use really do define the limits of what we can achieve. So what could it mean for your agency, for your corridors, and for the drivers in your community if your workflow was truly systematic and data-driven from beginning to end? Thanks for watching.